Hey, you, friends, family, and strangers, me and you discovered that the Glick Road Dam, spillway, and waterfall about a week ago when we were coming back home from Buckeye Lake in Buckeye Lake, Ohio. However, it appears as if right down that way, if we do enough walking, we'll run into kind of a connecting park right on the Scioto River. This, by the way, as we may have seen about a week ago, if not, here it is for you. Is where the Scioto River, Glick Road meet up in Powell, Ohio, just north of Columbus, right beside the Columbus Zoo, which is literally where that like gazebo looking thing sticks out over the water. That's Columbus Zoo property. So, if you want to get here, all you have to do is look for the Columbus Zoo and look to see where Glick Road goes over this bridge, hang that left, and fall down to this Glick Park. Yeah. So let's check this out, walk the bridge, do our normal sightseeing test, but also before that, I think I'm going to go ahead and on foot head down to what I believe is the other park, close by, with a lovely walking, sightseeing adventure along the way. Never done that yet, never seen this place until about a week ago. I've drove that bridge a thousand times, had no clue this was here until about a week ago. Had no clue this other park was right down here until about an hour ago. So, please, gather your things and let's do it.
You're a loser.
We're going to head this direction down to that other park right on Scioto River. Let's see what's happening down here. Of course, this is happening because I wanted to find something somewhat close to where I live. I'm not really able to hit the road with you today, but I am able to hit the street. So I thought we would head out and check out a familiar spot tied in with a new spot. And that's exactly why we're here, because I wanted to get you out of the house. I wanted to do it as a way to accomplish two things at once. Like I said, we can't hit the road, so I need to figure out how not to hit the road. Accomplishment number one. Accomplishment number two is the fact that I owe you a video that's not random, right? We have to do another like daily adventure, and here we are, I guess. So when I was checking this place out, I thought I would have to do some dirt trailing, the Flip-Flop Express down to that other park. But so far, it appears that when you get here, you discover something you couldn't tell looking at the maps. And that is, you have a nice, beautiful, very easy paved path so far. See how long that lasts. But I can tell you this, we're headed down to the water. We're getting closer to the water than we ever could up there on that overlook. Certainly up there on that very high bridge. That bridge is actually so high, as you may have saw last week, there are signs that say, if you are contemplating a jump over this bridge, it will ruin you. Please call this number to prevent what you're thinking. That's how high up that bridge is. And we'll probably be walking across that bridge before we leave today. This is kind of cool. Look at this. That would be fun to walk out onto. However, we cannot walk out onto that because we are not authorized personnel. Wow, what is that noise? You hear it? I know we're close to the zoo, but apparently we don't have to go to the zoo. By the way, I will never visit the Columbus Zoo again without stopping here before or after. Because look at this. Look how small you feel down here. Really cool. Smells very fishy down here too. And no one's down here fishing, which is kind of a surprise. Look at that. Take it all in. Look at this. I'll show you this shot over here in a second. But take a look. You want to go ahead and go down here? Let's see if it's not too slippery for an old fat guy in flip-flops. Wow. Love it. When I first came here about a week ago with you, there was someone standing down here. And I couldn't tell how they could have got down here. I literally thought they waded through the water to get down here. It's possible maybe we can walk across there and get over there, but you can actually get over there by walking across the bridge and going around, which we're not doing today. But you get what I mean. Let's take a good look before we start heading that other direction. The water's so calm right here, and the foamy stuff on top of the water is so stationary. It blends right in with the rocks. I literally almost walked right onto it. I love those rapids right there. A lot of fun to go river hiking today, if we had time. Of course. But anyways, down the Scioto River, there's another park nearby where you can do some interesting sightseeing, it appears. And I want to see if they are connected via a path or at least some kind of access point. But I think first we should walk right over onto this stuff. Look at them rapids up close. Let's see how this turns out. The sketch level is minimal for now. Something tells me that could change. If you're thirsty. I am walking on wet, mossy rocks, which can only mean one thing, of course, that on any given day, these rocks would be underwater. Over there, as we saw last week, if you remember, there is signage that says increasing water level, rapidly increasing water level will be made known to you by a very loud alarm warning. Looks like we need to travel over this way in order to get over there. What a fun day to slip and fall on rocks and drive back home all wet and mossy. Standing out in the middle of the Scioto River, headed directly down into Columbus to meet up eventually with the Ohio, to meet up with the Mississippi, to continue its journey down into the Gulf of Mexico. Look at the ducks doing the same thing we are, just chillaxing out in the middle of the river. Let's head back up, shall we? There are sensors down here that very easily measure water level and flow rate. The technology's not advanced. It's the same, very similar technology in your own toilet that would detect water level and flow rate. Not that your toilet detects flow rate, but trust me, the technology is old technology, but very helpful apparently, because in such a rapid change event, it could cause danger to people fishing down here, of course. A horn would warn me and you of a rapid change in flow and water level. It's always good to be warned of an oncoming, onset heavy flow. The good news is it's about 98.5 million degrees outside, and when you stand beside a river, it's very humid. Complicate that with being fat and walking uphill in flip-flops. Should try it sometime. So this other park should be down here somewhere, where we're going to find out, I think. Actually, I don't know where you go from here, because I'm not going back the same way. And I need to kind of go, instead of going that way, I need to kind of go that way, following the river. So we'll see. If it's not easy to do, we may drive there. I doubt it. It's not really the point of this video today. But if it's impossible, we will abandon post. We are hard pressed for time today anyways. That just means we'll have another spot to come back to on a different day. I'm headed right back down to where we just walked up, because I don't think I can get down to that other park on any kind of trail up here. However, every river has a trail beside it, which is called the riverbank. Sometimes there are places to pass, sometimes there are not. Let's see if I can walk along these rocks and maybe right up here, all the way down to that park, potentially. If not, we'll turn back around and maybe drive down there or head down a different day. I have disturbed the ducks that were right here, living their best life. There's another one, a little baby quackling. I don't even know if you can tell where it is, but he's right there. I can't even tell in the preview, I'm sorry. But anyway, see the baby? This family of ducks left this little baby behind. Wow. And it's my fault. Because I came up looking for a spot to cross up there. If it wasn't for this tree, I could make my way down pretty well. This side is so much better. However, the park is on this side of Scioto. So I don't know what we're doing. I'm probably going to drive down there just to check it out because we're here. It'll save me about an hour. If I had the extra hour, I would literally get up in those rocks and make my way down to that other park. Just for fun. I'm also not against throwing a craft into the water and heading down. I don't know if you can tell, but right there, I think it is, you see all those black things in the rocks? Those are birds. Giant roadkill buzzards. They are there. That is their nesting spot, rather their resting spot, where they are all chilling. If they have a place to go, they will dispatch from that spot right there. So this side is going to be a lot of fun to explore on a different day. But for now, we're stuck over here. Let's go ahead and jump in the car, head down to that other park, just to see if it's anything worth seeing. A rapid change in water level right here would mean that I would get wet and or swept away. I would be too excited to feel nervous. Because my first reaction would be, we're about to get really cool footage of water engulfing these rocks and my feet. But let's go ahead and get out of here before that happens, just in case. I wanted to take you somewhere more fun today, but we are stuck locally for today, tomorrow, and the next day. Then after that, I'll let you burn up all my gas money. Why not? Let's do it. A lot of spots in the old mental travel list I want to go and check out. And I don't want to waste any local spots for my time off work, because I can do that when I'm stuck going back and forth to work. So I do firmly believe that we are reaching far out into the outskirts of Ohio and beyond here in the next few weeks. I do believe we will be, I don't want to say. I was going to say what states we're probably going to be in soon, but that could get me into trouble. If certain things don't happen or don't happen in order, then I have to answer to the nation. So I'm going to use discretion for now and just say it is the current plan to rock this shit out. I am as out of shape as it gets. I can't even get up that hill. My legs feel like jello now. Since we do have a couple spare minutes that we could use before we head down to that other park, I think I'll walk up onto that bridge for a few feet, get a couple shots of the whole different angle, being up on the opposite side, up above the dam instead of on the water level of it, just for your visual enjoyment. Let's go check it out. We were here about a week ago. As you remember, I walked all the way down across the street and walked all the way back on the other side because I wanted to see what was in those buildings that are attached to the bridge. And yeah, we're not doing all that today, but you get my point. Check this out. This right here is just one little chunk of Ohio. We are right there, but all of these blue squigglies represent rivers. Prominent enough rivers to become rivers after they've graduated from creeks. That is an insane amount of waterways just in this one little chunk of the state. And you know me, I never miss the opportunity to ascend 10,000 steps. Please keep in mind that your life matters. Make a note of this information if it's ever needed. Please, please, please Also remember that if you can't figure out how your life matters, I can tell you a fact that you may not know. Your life can and will matter. Perhaps if you make some changes, but most likely you don't have to make any changes at all other than in your outlook. This on the other side is when the Scioto River becomes the Scioto River Dam. However, it is a mere bubble along the riverway. It doesn't start a dam, it just kind of turns into one for a minute. Hope that makes sense. I don't know if it does or not. But that stuff sticking out over there is part of the Columbus Zoo, which is right there. See the water slides? That's part of the Columbus Zoo as well, Zambezi Bay. Not worth the annual pass because who the hell goes to the zoo that much? However, once in a while, what's it like, 22 bucks to get in, something like that? Come on down. Which we're actually about to do here in a few days, I believe. If I haven't hit the road yet. We, of course, were all the way down there a few minutes ago. The park, technically, that you pull into is all the way down there. And you pull into it right off of Glick Road, crossing the Scioto River. Don't waste your money going to the sauna. Just come here and get in my car. It is fucking hot as shit. There was no way to turn left out of that park onto Glick Road. There are zero provisions made for such an adventure, from traffic lights or signs or anything. Therefore, I had to turn right. I had no other option but to go all the way down, past the Columbus Zoo, to find a spot to U-turn. I think that's kind of sad. Look at all those people waiting to get on the water slide. Don't worry, Lloyd, we'll catch our break too. We have, in our attempts to go to that other park, which we are here, by the way, we have crossed over into technically the next city, Dublin, Ohio, even though it's right beside where we just were. Literally so close, I thought I could walk down on the banks of the river itself. But we are in Amberley Community Park, right off of Memorial Drive in Dublin, Ohio, really close to the Glick Road Wendy's, just over the line in Powell, both of which are just different ways to be in the outskirts of Columbus. It's all the same shite. I don't know why they just don't call it Powell Columbus, Dublin Columbus. But anyways, this park is already considered, already proving to be kind of a cool spot to check out. There are some very unique little village buildings up there on the other part of the park that the kids play on. And it is dead here today, so I can take all the pictures I want. There is the Scioto River. I would have just walked down up to this park if I could, and would have literally tried if I had more time. But driving here was certainly not bad either. I'm assuming this exists just for a picnic spot. This little spot where I'm standing right now is just kind of down in the corner of the park, close to where the parking lot is. Let's go the other way. Go up into the main part of the action, baby. Check this out. Look at that. What in the world is this? To me it looks like a slide. But is it? That's freaky. Oh gosh, you pick up so much speed so quick. I have no idea what this is. But if you couldn't tell, I'm not sure what you were looking at. I just put my ass on it. And as soon as you let your foot off, you slide very fast, very quickly. And there's no way to land except for in rocks. So how about we don't do that? Look at those ducks. There is a high probability that is the same family of ducks I completely disturbed upriver. Probably not even a 1/10 of a mile upriver. You can probably see, if I went and stood out there in the middle, looked straight up the river, you could probably see those giant dams we were just at. But yeah, the park meets the river right down here, and I could have, look, see the trails right along the riverside? That's how a lot of Riverside is in cities, pretty much. And that's what I was hoping for, to come all the way down without having to drive. That would have been cool. But this is not a bad alternative, right? You know me, I never miss the chance to go up 10,000 stairs. I think I figured out what this is. Duh. You probably just set your canoe or kayak on it and walk it down here. Right? I certainly hope you don't ride it like I was trying to do, like a dinkus. I'm more out. What I do for you, what I do for you. Or if you really want to have fun, you'll put your canoe or kayak up here and then ride down on the canoe. In the canoe. And please wear a helmet, because you are going to die at the bottom. This would pick up so much speed. A lot of people that are here at the park today, and there are several, even though I'm not like pointing the camera at them, it may be hard to tell, but there is a fair amount of people here at this park, but hardly anyone in the parking lot. That is because this park is tied right into the yuppie subdivision right up the hill, and there are a lot of bicycles down here. A lot of moms and their kids, a lot of families, a lot of lone rangers like myself who came in on bike. However, I am one of 3 and only 3 that came in here today via automobile. Scioto River right down there. Nice wooded shady spot. See, look at this. I'm on a trail going toward the dam, Glick Road Dams, where we just were. Connect the dots. This would have been so perfect. Connect these 2 trails. Connect these 2 parks. They're so close. The trail literally is about to go right to the edge. I'll probably be able to smell the waterfalls up here from where we just were. But I got to turn around and head back up, film that other part of the park real quick, and get the heck out of here. Time is about to be done for this video. I do believe I will come back here and recreate if and when I have a date. This would be the perfect spot for some walking around, some enjoying of life. Although Ohio has countless really cool parks and cool waterfalls and cool this and cool that and cool things to make cool videos. I don't know. You can find different stuff in different states. And people think Ohio is boring. And compared to what? The Sears Tower? Compared to what? The St. Louis Arc? Compared to what? The Niagara Falls? The San Francisco Bridge? I mean, sure, we can call it boring. But not really. There are countless things to get up into and to possibly be late for work because of, which I'm about to be. Look, I'm going right down to the river again from this same park, or at least trails that connect it. I got to figure out exactly where the far corner of these trails go so I know how short of a river hike I got to take to park down there and hike down here. All right, see, and it keeps right on going toward those falls, toward those Glick Road Dam. It's got to be so close. They're just not connected. There should just be a little trail connecting them. That would be great. But I got to turn around and get my arse and holla on the pavement again, on the rubber meets pavement express. All right, up this way should be a lot of odd little play structures and a welcome center, and then that'll be a wrap on today's journeys. Am I right? Or am I right? Or am I right? Let's check this out. This is pretty cool. You come up the hill and it all comes into view. Pretty sharp community park. Pretty sharp. Beautiful building. We have restrooms over here. The river down that way. Community up here. Subdivision. Very cozy. Very cozy. Little park up here between the community and the river. Absolutely love it. Look at this. Building would be gorgeous for a family reunion or whatever. Bring with you a bag of charcoal and do some grilling. I'm assuming you should make a phone call and see what the rules are for scheduling and all that fun stuff. There's also, as you saw, the fire pit ready to go, wide open. Bring some wood, whatever. Beautiful little park. I forget the name of it already, but yeah. There is a giant swing. It appears that you can open this. You can sit right here with a wheelchair, hang yourself on, the whole thing swings, or perhaps you can put a stroller or whatever. I wouldn't don't recommend that, of course, but you know what I mean. This one's wide open. There's a ramp coming up to it. Never seen that before. Thought that was kind of fun. Kind of fun. Look at this, one of many massive kids' playhouses. I thought all these had slides, but some of them do not. Engine house number 1. This is the fire department. Oh, even a big kid like me can stand up all the way in here. Firefighters are on duty. There's the address for you. 4715 Vista Ridge Drive is where the actual location is. There's information about renting out the giant gazebo. There are tons of graduation parties coming up. A massive amount of graduation parties coming up. Just passed right behind me a giant freestanding xylophone type thing. You grab the mallet, beat on them. I would have done that, but it is swarmed with people and their children, along with some other really cool play structures back there, which I did not film for that same reason. But if you're in the area and you want to check out Scioto River after the zoo or something like that, pop in and let your children get the rest of all the way wore out after the zoo right here. What is it? Amberley Community Park. Pretty cool little spot. If I were coming back here, I can't really fish because I don't fish, but I guess I'd come back here to set up a chair, riverside, in the shade, and enjoy the peace. Down here away from those falls, it is kind of peaceful because it's not loud. Those falls are very loud, and after a few minutes your brain starts kind of feel like it's trapped in an echo room. But friends, family, strangers, I gotta go, you gotta go back to your room to play with your toys. It is time to pack up this camp, piss on this fire, and head back to one of two really cool parks out here in Powell and Dublin, Ohio, right next to the Columbus Zoo. Get down here, why not? I thought I would show it to you. I never really exactly saw what the hype was down here with these two parks. So today was that day. If you want to help me out, spread this content and your legs, and spread my website around if you want, DougaloNation.com. And what else? What else am I supposed to tell you? If you want to contact me directly, email address is at the bottom of the webpage, DougaloNation.com. And you know, I gotta go, but I'll be back with you again for something else. Good, bad, or ugly, tomorrow morning, like always, no matter what, 7 days a week at 7 a.m. But until then, don't be a douche.